The Viking Portable World Library, edited by Robert O. Ballou, the Buddhist, from Buddhist scriptures, from the Lotus of the true law, the wheel of the law. The Lord, the spiritual master, or perhaps the ruler, addressed the venerable Sariputra. It is not by reasoning, Sariputra, that the law is to be found. It is beyond the pale of reasoning, and must be learnt from the Tathagata. It is for a sole object, a lofty object, that the Buddha, the Tathagata, appears in the world, to show all creatures the sight of Tathagata knowledge. Does the Buddha, the Tathagata, appear in the world to open the eyes of creatures for the sight of Tathagata knowledge? Does the Buddha, the Tathagata, appear in the world? Now the word of my commandment, as contained in 9 divisions, has been published according to the varying degree of strength of creatures. Such is the device I have shown, in order to introduce creatures to the knowledge of the giver of boons. The giver of bones. That would have been interesting. As to those in the world who have always been pure, wise, good-minded, compassionate sons of Buddha, and done their duty under many kotis of Buddhists, will I make known amplified sutras. Sutra is a thread. It became the word for scripture. There is no envy whatever in me, no jealousy, no desire, nor passion. Therefore I am the Buddha, because the world follows my teachings. If I spoke to the creatures, vivify in your minds the wish for enlightenment, they would, in their ignorance, all go astray, and never catch the meaning of my good words. From lust they run into distress. They are tormented in the 6 states of existence, and people the cemetery again and again. They are overwhelmed with misfortune, as they possess little virtue. They are continually entangled in the thickets of sectarian theories, such as, it is and it is not. It is as thus and it is not thus. In trying to get a decided opinion on what is found in the 62 heretical theories, they come to embrace falsehood and continue in it. They are hard to correct, proud, hypocritical, crooked, malignant, ignorant, dull. Hence, they do not hear the good Buddha call, not once, in kotis of births. I don't remember what kotis means. Insert it in the comments if you know. This event today will be hard to understand by the ignorant who imagine they see here a sign, as they are proud and dull. But the bodhisattvas, they will listen to me. At certain times, at certain places, somehow, do the leaders appear in the world, and after their appearance, will they whose view is boundless, at one time or another, preach a similar law. Just as the blossom of the glamorous fig tree is rare, albeit sometimes, at some places, and somehow it is met with as something pleasant to see for everybody, as a wonder to the world, including the gods. So wonderful, and far more wonderful, is the law I proclaim. Any one who, on hearing a good exposition of it, shall cheerfully accept it, and recite but one word of it, and will have honor to all Buddhas. Ye are my children. I am your Father, who has removed from you pain, from the triple world, from fear and danger. When you have been burning for many kotis of aeons, and I am teaching blessed rest. Aeons, been the older pronunciation. And I am teaching blessed rest, nirvana. Insofar as, though you have not reached the final rest, you are delivered from the trouble of the mundane world, provided you seek the vehicle of the Buddhas. When the creatures in this world delight in low and contemptible pleasures, then the chief of the world, who always speaks the truth, indicates pain as the first great truth. And to those who are ignorant and too simple-minded to discover the root of all that pain, I lay open the way. Awakening a full consciousness, strong desire is the origin of pain. Always try, unattached, to suppress desire. Sublimate is a better option. This is my third truth, that of suppression. It is an infallible means of deliverance. For by practicing this method, one shall become emancipated. And from what are they emancipated? Sariputra? They are emancipated from chimeras. Yet they are not wholly freed. The chief declares that they have not yet reached final and complete rest in this world. So abrogation. Or arrogation of, what's the other word? Yeah, abrogation of oneself. That you try to, your parts don't agree. The chimeras is, I presume that's what's meant by that. Because chimera is like a multifaceted animal, like a snake and a lion and a goat or some other forms. Why is it that I do not pronounce one to be delivered before one's having reached the highest, supreme enlightenment? Because such is my will. I am the ruler of the law, who is born in this world to lead the beatitude. This, Sariputra, is the closing word of my law, which now, at the last time, I pronounce, for the weal of the world, including the gods, light beings, I presume, and fire beings too, probably. Preach it in all quarters. And if someone speaks to you these words, I joyfully accept, and with signs of utmost reverence receives this sutra, thou mayest consider that man to be unable to slide back. But do not speak of this matter to haughty persons, nor to conceited ones, nor to yogins, who are not self-restrained, not for the fools always reveling in sensual pleasures might in their blindness scorn the law manifested. Sutra is a more common term in the tantric tradition. Now hear the dire results when one scorns my skillfulness and the Buddha rules, forever fixed in the world. After having disappeared from amongst men, they shall dwell in the lowest hell during a whole kalpa, and thereafter they shall fall lower and lower, the fools passing through repeated births for many intermediate kalpas, and when they have vanished from amongst the inhabitants of hell, they shall further descend to the condition of brutes, be even as dogs and jackals, and become a sport to others. Now, one can see this metaphorically, that your afterlife takes on the various forms in order for you to need to deal with what that you didn't deal with in life. It doesn't necessarily mean one has to reincarnate, but around this time, that idea was becoming popular, is the reincarnation idea. So Well, among the Yazidi, that idea may have existed for tens of thousands of years. And whenever they assume a human shape, they are born crippled, maimed, crooked, one-eyed, blind, dull, and low. They having no faith in my sutra, and since I am fully aware of it, I command thee, Sariputra, that thou shalt not expound a sutra like this before foolish people. But those who are sensible, instructed, thoughtful, clever, and learned, who strive after the highest, supreme enlightenment, to them expound its real meaning. Those who, full of energy and ever kind-hearted, have a long time been developing the feeling of kindness, have given up body and life. In their presence thou mayest preach this sutra. Those who show mutual love and respect, keep no intercourse with ignorant people, and are contented to live in mountain caverns. To them expound this hallowed sutra. Those who are not irascible, ever sincere, full of compassion for all living beings, and respectful towards the Sugata, before those thou mayest propound this sutra. I preach with ever the same voice, constantly taking enlightenment as my text. For this is equal for all, no partiality is in it, neither hatred nor affection. I am inexorable, bear no love nor hatred towards anyone, and proclaim the law to all creatures without distinction. To the one as well as the other, I recreate the whole world like a cloud shedding its water without distinction. I have the same feelings for respectable people as for the low, for moral persons as for the immoral, for the depraved as for those who observe the rules of good conduct, for those who hold sectarian views and unsound tenets, as for those whose views are sound and correct. I preach the law to the inferior in mental culture, as well as to persons of superior understanding and extraordinary facilities, and accessible to weariness. I spread in season the reign of the law. The Lord, the ruler, I guess, having thus spoken, the venerable Maha Kasyapa said, Lord, if the beings are of different disposition, will there be for those who have left the triple world one nirvana, or two, or three? The Lord replied, Nirvana, Kasyapa, is a consequence of understanding that all laws, things, are equal. Hence, there is but one nirvana, not two, not three. As the rays of the sun and moon descend alike on all men, good and bad, without deficiency in one case, or surplus in the other, so the wisdom of the Tathagata shines like the sun and moon, leading all beings without partiality. The strength of charity or kindness is my abode. The apparel of forbearance is my robe, and the voidness or complete abstraction is my seat. Let the preacher take his stand on this and preach. That's not to say that everything doesn't count, but you addressed people. Because everything counts, you address all people. So every good and truth you can be a part of people taking on, or that's for the sake that that exists, that these goods and these truths are appearing. And of course, in the afterlife, everything counts for them too.